This is Glenda with AKA GK Fralin, a friendly community. And we've been doing a series on stroke, risk factors, ACT FAST, the acronym FAST for face, arms, speech, and time. And if you didn't see that one, I would go back and take a look at it, because I did make a sample or example of a document or a sign that you could run off of your computer and put on your refrigerator or someplace to keep you reminded of what to do, because it's a panic moment when it happens. I mean, you don't want to panic, but it can. You don't know what's going on, or you're confused. And so this can help, especially if you're alone. And even if you're not alone, if you're the one who is witnessing it. Anyway, I think we're to that point. The rest of what I looked at is about who can be affected most. And then there's a lot of stuff about treatments and therapies and where to get help. That's important, but it's very individualized a lot of the time, because each stroke is different, each survivor is different. So a lot of that's going to be in your plan, but do definitely go and look so that you know what's available, because there are support groups out there for stroke survivors. So anyway, this is how far I've got on redoing the necklace again. But as you can see, I've added something to it. And I'm going to finish it off now with you. And I'm not going to cut it too short before I tie on the end. So anyway, I've got most of, well, a little over half. But it's nice to take a break from all the health stuff. I mean, it's important. And I think we've covered a lot of ground with it. And I'll go over a few things tonight, not much. Just mainly to be aware of things, because everybody's recovery is different. Everybody's plan is different. Yeah, everybody's recovery is different. Everybody's therapy is individualized, as it should be. Because at least I haven't seen yet two people have the same outcome of a stroke, other than, you know, the ones that don't make it. But you know, some may have speech impairments that gradually get better, some get better faster, and there's different kinds of therapies. There's occupational therapy. And occupational therapy isn't so much about getting a job as it is about being able to do the things that we need to do on a daily basis. For some, it could be learning to use a spoon, or using special spoons that, you know, it's different for everybody. Just like, and then everybody has their own personality to go along with that too. So it's just hard to say what your therapy will be. There's the physical, the emotional therapy, I hope, that will go along with that. Of course, it all depends on severity, but whichever way it is, it's an attack on your body, and it makes you, it's fearsome. we can all say, oh, let's just, you know, let's just tough it out and be strong and, you know, no tears, all this kind of stuff. We are human. We have the right to feel a little afraid. Let's just not make it forever. Anyway, so what I will discuss when I get back to the computer is, I'll just go through a little bit about, you know, the different age groups and stuff, and they're prone, you know, that are prone to it, and you'll be very surprised at that. Some of it I've covered, and but there's a little bit of statistics. Yeah, I'll probably go ahead and quote it, but you know, they have their place. Statistics have their place, and you know, it just depends on the sampling that they take and how many of those samplings they take as to just how accurate statistics are. And these, I think, are probably pretty accurate because they want to be accurate for the sake of whoever is needing the information. This is not a kind of competitive type thing like you would find in other stuff, you know, like you know, one drug company, my drug's better than your drug, that kind of thing. This isn't the type of association or data gathering thing that would be about that. So, because this is about the possibility of having stroke and how often and that kind of thing. So, I'm still shaking. I did my treatment, but I took my meds and all of that, and I'm still shaky. And guess what? The last beat. Now, I was smart about one thing. I didn't just tie a knot in there as a stopper. I went ahead and I put the thing on. Went ahead and I put the whatchamajigget on. And it still got, from the last time, it still got a piece of that on there. I don't throw these away just because they don't. No. No. Guess what? That wasn't the old one. But I still have plenty of string. Jiminy Christmas! I don't believe myself sometimes. Hiya, I'm back. I love success, don't you? Okay. Finishing off tonight with the stroke stuff. This is just a thing that I want. Women and stroke. The stroke risk for women is higher than men. And yeah, there's a lot of unique stroke factors I could go through, but I'd really, we've gone through symptoms, risks, I'm umming a lot, okay? Risk factors, the act fast, I look like a salute there, but anyway, here's somewhere I wanted to go. Pediatric stroke. It isn't only adults. Unfortunately, there are things such as pediatric strokes. And it can happen to anyone at any time, including teenagers, children, and newborns, and even unborn babies. The risk of stroke in children is greater in the first year of life and during the period of right before birth and right after birth. It remains among the top 10 causes of death in children. Okay, minorities and stroke. Minorities in the U.S. have a high stroke risk. Stroke occurs at an earlier age, and for some more severe strokes, I went through that with the risk factors, the ethnicity, obesity, high tendencies for higher blood pressure. Okay. Young stroke survivors. Yes, many young stroke survivors are between the ages of 18 and 65. Now, that's a long age group, but there are a lot of survivors. And there's a lot of survivors after age 65, too. But the financial burden and family obligations after a stroke in young adults can be significantly more than for older stroke survivors. Why? Because they live longer, I imagine. See what I imagine. Young adults often ignore stroke symptoms that could save their lives and frequently have to live longer with the physical effects of a stroke and experience a greater loss of salary earnings. The salary earnings before age 65, you betcha, I can see that. I'm not going to belabor this stuff, and I'm not disagreeing with this at all. I'm just saying let's not, just the way things are worded sometimes, I'm afraid of people taking them and saying this is the only reason it happens. It's like when we put the baby on the back, we think no more sudden infant death syndrome can happen. Nobody actually knows the absolute cause for sudden infant death. Just like nobody knows exactly the cause of everybody's stroke, because there's all different kinds of causes, including accidents, cerebral contusions or whatever. When they take a brain tumor out, it often has the same devastating effects. So anyway, that's where I'm going to go to for tonight. Thank you. We've gone through so much in the last few days, and there's no way I can cover everything there is about a stroke or about stroke in general. And that's why we have sites like the National Stroke Association and all of its affiliates and everything that are listed on that site at www.stroke.org. And it is the National Stroke Association. And it's full of information. So do go there and do subscribe if you haven't yet. We're going to be doing a lot more fun things, more necklaces, more whatever. Anyway, maybe we'll do some stories again. Good night. I love you. I've been loved, so I do love. And tomorrow's another day. So what am I going to do with it? Nasta Mignana, I'm going to be here. What do you think?